The Vacuum Wars, Episode 8, The Last Xiaomi. We last saw our little robot friend cleaning its way around the house, navigating effortlessly around any obstacle and outperforming nearly every competitor out there, even at a rock-bottom price. Now, Roborock is stepping up to the plate to make a name for itself. As the manufacturer of the original Xiaomi Mi Robot Vacuum, Roborock wants to show that it can take what it already made and improve upon it in several ways, but is it worth the price increase over the original? Hey everybody, it's Nick from Android Headlines, and today we're pitting the first and second generation Xiaomi robot vacuums against each other in a head-to-head review. While the name Xiaomi doesn't appear anywhere on the product, the Roborock S50, as it's properly named, still connects with the Mi Home app and for all intents and purposes, certainly appears to be the legitimate second generation Xiaomi Mi Robot Vacuum. Being very gung-ho about it, I quickly put the Roborock through the ringer of tests. It started in the pantry with a half a cup of sifted soil, dropped around the room in a rough circle, sure to get in those grout lines for difficult cleanup. The first generation Xiaomi Robot Vacuum performed as I expected. Basically, all of the dirt was picked up on the flat tile, but there was a noticeable amount of dirt still remaining in the grout even after 2 passes in this small room. Still, the vacuum got well over 90% of the dirt on the floor. As a note, maximum suction was enabled for each vacuum ahead of time, and the floor thoroughly vacuumed in between each robot's task completion. Dropping the same half cup of sifted dirt onto the tile revealed that the second generation vacuum, or as I'll just call it the Roborock from here on out, performed exactly the same as the Xiaomi. Sure enough, this practice proved the same on carpet, where half a cup of dirt was almost entirely sucked up by both generations of vacuums, with differences in an extremely small margin of error, if even that. Alright, so dirt cleanup was already good to begin with. How about some overly stale Halloween cereal instead? Yeah, this sugary confection is sure to wreak havoc when ground up in the bristles and wheels of a robot vacuum, right? The Xiaomi vacuum performed admirably, to say the least, neither scattering the cereal around or crushing it under the weight of the wheels, leaving a scant 3 pieces of cereal on the floor, down from a half a cup of the stuff initially. Dropping the same amount on the floor for the Roborock proved to be just as boring and uneventful as the first 2 tests. The Roborock picked up all but, yep, you guessed it, 3 whopping pieces of cereal out of the half cup I tossed onto the floor. I even tried attaching that new mop accessory that ships with the Roborock, which features a small reservoir of water and a washable cloth pad to drag on the back of the vacuum, attempting to help clean up little bits of stuff that might not have made it into the suction chamber initially. It's pretty clear that this accessory isn't designed for heavy mopping duties though, and while I didn't think it was going to initially anyway, it was certainly worth a shot to see if it would pick up any more dirt in those grout lines than before. Alright, well, this is going to take a little deeper diving than simple surface level tests, as even the pet hair test fared the exact same fate as the other tests, and it's doubtless I'd find any substantial differences between the two if I kept up this nonsense. How about navigational abilities? While I've never had any sort of real issues with the Xiaomi Robot Vacuum's navigational abilities in the near 2-year time period I've owned the thing, we at Android Headlines have been made aware of a number of people that have had issues with the first gen Xiaomi when it comes to cleaning carpets. We've run the Shag carpet test with the Xiaomi before, and it never has done well on taller carpets in general. This time around was no different. It barely made it a foot into the carpet before eventually giving up and calling it a short workday. It's pretty clear that Roborock focused on this type of performance, as it made short work of the Shag carpet without so much as stalling for more than a second on one of the edges. With such similar designs on the outside, there's certainly a wonder as to what they might have done to improve the performance so much. Flipping both vacuums over doesn't reveal much at first, as they look almost identical in every way from the get-go, but a closer look shows something rather interesting. The big wheels have been flipped, and they push up and toward the back of the vacuum, rather than going against the flow and pushing forward and up, like the first generation did. That's some pretty clever engineering, and is likely a huge part of why we're seeing such better performance on even super thick rugs. Alright, so how about that time it takes to clean a whole house? With seemingly identical navigation and super similar overall designs, you wouldn't think there would be any kind of difference in this area. The fact of the matter, however, is that there's a pretty substantial difference in cleaning times, with the Roborock S50 cleaning up the entirety of my house nearly 15 minutes faster than the original Xiaomi did. There's only a difference of a single square meter too, where the Roborock didn't go under one of my couches, but the Xiaomi did. Even with this difference of a single square meter, it's pretty clear Roborock has cleaned cleaned up some of the algorithms overall, as even looking at the map we see identical cleaning patterns in many parts of the house. Part of the improvement could very likely be in the design itself, where once again Roborock has more efficiently designed the S50 over the original Xiaomi vacuum. When comparing the tops of both vacuums, you'll immediately notice big design changes. Instead of being positioned all the way to the back, the Roborock's navigation dome is in between the front and center points. While this doesn't seem like much more than a cosmetic change at first, operationally it appears to make all the difference in the world. The Xiaomi vacuum will sometimes get wedged under things because it has a hard time turning or backing out, and it's all because the navigation dome gets in the way. This doesn't appear to happen at all with the Roborock, and it's likely that this makes it so much quicker in my home. There's a few other key differences too that are certainly worth noting. The Roborock is able to detect carpet just like the Roomba 980 and can increase suction automatically for carpeted areas. This is particularly nice if your house is like mine and you've got mostly hard surfaces, as you can use that balanced or quiet mode to keep the noise down, while the area rugs or carpeted rooms will benefit from the automatic extra suction. Then of course there's also the wet mop that attaches to the back, and while we showed before that this is not for heavy dirt or extremely dirty floors, it will certainly help with small particles of dust or errant hairs that might otherwise be missed. Just be careful of using this around carpets though, as it does not differentiate between carpeted or hard surfaces while the mop is on, meaning it's gonna try to mop your carpets if you let it. Maybe just stick to spot cleaning for this accessory in the end. The app too has been upgraded, but only for the Roborock S50, not for the Xiaomi vacuum. While this certainly seems like something Xiaomi should be able to add in a firmware update, it's at least a set of new features for Roborock's latest vacuum for now. This includes things like virtual walls, which allow you to block off areas or rooms that the vacuum scanned on the last full cleaning cycle, as well as the ability to send the vacuum to individual parts of the house to clean specific rooms. The advantage here for spot cleaning is that you can not only specify the exact size of the spot to clean in the house, but the vacuum will automatically return to the base station when complete, something regular spot cleaning won't do since you have to manually move it around the house. The Roborock S50 also has a washable air filter this time around, which should significantly cut down on the number of filters you have to purchase in a year, and bring that long-term cost of ownership down. So at the end of the day, is this a worthy upgrade? Well, that entirely depends on your needs and what you're coming from, but I would say folks like me who already own the original Xiaomi Robot Vacuum probably don't need to consider the $500 upgrade unless they've got the aforementioned issues with the unit getting stuck on carpet, or of course if your house is mostly carpet as well. The wet mop and navigational efficiencies and new features are nice, but the base cleaning on hard floors is identical. Folks who have yet to invest in a robot vacuum should definitely consider the upgrade though, as that initial cost will easily be made up with a combination of cleaner house automatically, as well as the fact that you don't need to buy as many air filters or mop the house as often. It's an impressive move by Roborock because they've taken excellent base functionality, improved the navigation, and even improved the cleaning on carpet, not to mention added in a few extra goodies as well. We hope you enjoyed that in-depth comparison between robot vacuums and will subscribe to us for regularly updated content. Chat with us on your favorite social media network, and don't forget to check out AndroidHeadlines.com for 24/7 tech news coverage. Thanks for watching, and until next time.